Hello. Today we're going to be talking about World or Worldcoin, as it was previously known. This is a real human network, and it's a very interesting idea that I have personally been participating in for maybe a year or two now. So the idea here is it has a few different components, and I'll also explain what each and every one of them means. We're going to dive deeper into each and every one of them. So identity, finance, and community for every human. It has a few components: World ID, a privacy-preserving proof of human for the internet. It has World App, an app that provides simple and easy access to World Network. It has Worldchain, a blockchain designed for real humans, and it has Worldcoin, a digital token that distributes ownership of the network to every human. So as you can see, Worldcoin is available in various different countries, in various different continents. Right now, they're just about to hit 7 million people. They've distributed a bunch of different tokens. They're in different countries, and as you can see, there's many different, there's 849 orbs. So in the age of AI, World is a network of real humans built on a privacy-preserving proof of human and a globally inclusive financial network. And unlike other networks, your data is owned and controlled by you. World is built to connect, empower, and be owned by everyone. To join, you just have to download the World app and verify your World ID. So why do we need something like World or Worldcoin? The idea is that as time goes on and AI becomes much more advanced, it's going to be necessary for us to start thinking about, how do you differentiate between who is a human being and who is an AI? Because in the past, we used to use a Turing test in order to, like, you ask the AI basically, and if we can convince you that it's a human being, that's the point that we're at, where it's not possible to tell just through a conversation whether you're talking to an AI or a human being. So we need more robust ways to be able to determine that. Yeah, and there's many different ways to do it, but currently, I think the best way to do it now that what World has set up is essentially scanning your iris in order to be able to create a unique code that is attached to you, and it's completely anonymous. Personally, I've also already gone through this process. I visited an orb, I looked into the orb. The whole process happened in a few moments, and they did not require any personal information from me. You can actually go through the entire process without providing any information about yourself. The only thing that they need to know is whether you're a human being or not, which is very valuable information going forward, along with other few things. So recently, they had an event where they made some improvements and a few interesting announcements, which I thought it would be interesting for us to go through. So as AI is making rapid and important progress, as it does, new infrastructure is needed that enables people to leverage this powerful tool in a way that benefits everyone. At the New World event in San Francisco, they announced some important updates. Let's go through some of them. So they have a new orb, and this orb is essentially how you scale the system. It's one of the limiting or the bottlenecks of the system, because you need this physical hardware in order to be able to scan people. So they've unveiled the next generation of orb. They're trying to make it easier to mass produce, and they're trying to make it more available and provide different ways for people to access. We're going to get into that in just a bit. They've also provided Wild ID 3.0 featuring Wild ID credentials in Deepface. So this is a way for you to be able to use other credentials like your driver's license or your national ID or your passport in order to be able to join the system. Because right now you need to actually physically visit an orb in order for you to be able to join the system. And also they have deepface, which is very interesting. I'm going to get into that, which allows you to determine whether something is a deepfake or not. We also have mini apps. So they have a client on Android and iOS, which you're able to use, and they have mini apps, which are also going to play around with a few mini apps to see, what the future is, what it holds. I think there's a lot of potential, but it's still very early. And they also have Worldchain. So before they were using a different Ethereum network, but now they've switched to a more customized one that allows them to scale better. And on day one, it's essentially the largest human blockchain that has ever existed. So that's a big deal. And finally, they've also rebranded. So they used to be called Worldcoin. Now they're just called World. So finally, as the scale of the project grows, along with the importance of World ID's proof of human protocol, the name Worldcoin no longer encapsulates the mission of the project to accelerate every human. So now it's called World, which is very vague and it's very generic. But I think probably we'll get used to it. I don't know. Yeah, so let's start by talking about World ID. So World ID is a digital proof of human for the internet. Securely and anonymously proves you're human online. As I mentioned, it's going to become much more difficult to tell, are you actually talking to an AI? Are you actually talking to a human being? And you're going to need a way to tell the difference. And so far, the best way for us to do this is to actually scan the human's iris in order to be able to determine whether or not they're a human. This is an anonymous and privacy-preserving process. I actually went through it myself. You don't need to provide any of your personal information. I'm sure you can actually connect your phone number and other information on the app if you wanted to access other features and maybe have a backup or something like that. But to get a World ID, you don't need to provide any of your personal information. So use your World ID to sign into a mobile and online apps to prove you're a unique human. You're not identified based on any information used to create a World ID, so not data is shared and always remains in your control. So essentially, imagine you want to have a social network like Twitter, but one of the problems we have with social networks nowadays, or even online games, is you can have a lot of bots. So how do you differentiate between the humans and the bots? Nowadays, I'm sure it's going to become possible for agents and the AIs who can use your mouse to pass captures. So it's going to be much more difficult. So how do you tell between a human on a social network and an AI? And using World ID, you're going to be able to sell. So if you require everyone to sign in with a World ID, this is going to allow you to essentially know who's a bot and who's not. That way, you're going to have a much more cleaner social network. Or it's not just about the humans. It's going to be possible to allow agents and AIs to also interact with humans through this system. It's not just for humans, but it could allow them to share resources and things like that. It's very important for us to know who's a human and who's not a human. Yeah, they also added deep face. So imagine you're having a Zoom call or something on YouTube, and you want to be able to tell whether that was a real human being or not. And they've essentially said that they're solving or have already solved the idea of deep fakes. So you're going to be able to know on any of your apps, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and the rest, or even WhatsApp, whether you're actually talking to a human being or not, because it's going to be possible for someone to completely and realistically make a deep fake of another human being in real time and fool you. So imagine you're having a call with your mom, but it's not really your mom. So that things like that are starting to become possible. So how do you get a World ID? You just download the World app, you verify your humanness, and then you can explore the World ID apps, which we're going to do in a bit. Yeah, so now let's go into the orb itself, and let's talk about the orb. So they've unveiled a new orb and a new ways to verify to scale network to 1 billion human beings. So this is just it's not the full orb; it's just part of the the front part of the orb, the part you look into. So they've made it faster and it's engineered for scale. They've made it simpler to mass produce. They want many different people to be able to produce this. They also want to make it much more accessible to many different companies. Like if you want to build your own orb, they want to make that possible so that you are able to, mass produce it, put it in different shapes, different forms, so that it's accessible to many more people. They've also built, like you can tear it apart so that you can verify and audit that the privacy protections and instructions on the orb correspond to the open source code. So they actually have open source code. You can verify, you can check whether this is legit and things like that. They're also expanding into more countries. They've enhanced software for all the orb models. And then they have provided more ways for you to verify. Right now, for you to verify, you needed to visit a specific location and go there in order to verify at an orb. You could have applied as an orb operator. But now they're actually setting up flagship locations where you're going there to sit. You're going there to you essentially have many orbs. You just go there, you stand around, you verify yourself really quickly, and then you move on. The other cool thing they're providing is on-demand orb. So you're going to be able to actually order an orb like a pizza, and it comes to you, and then you're verified, and then self-serve orbs that don't require an operator, meaning you can visit like a coffee shop, and there'll be an orb there sitting, and you can just go verify yourself. I think this is a very, very good, ways to expand the network and allow more people to join. Here in Kenya, these orbs were banned because people essentially freaked out about, they didn't fully understand the iris scanning, and people are very interested. People love crypto and Worldcoin in Kenya, but unfortunately, because people don't really understand how this technology works and why it's useful, it was banned in Kenya, and there was lots of controversy, and a lot of people have lost out on such a valuable and important part of the future. which is very unfortunate, but I hope they're able to come back later. So now let's talk about the World App. So the World App provides a simple and easy access to World Network. Designed and developed by Tools for Humanity, it can be used to safely store a World ID, exchange digital assets, and access mini apps. So this is the World App, looks something like this. You actually need to download this app in order for you to be able to store your credentials, for you to be verified and all of that stuff, confirm yourself and all of those things. So you simply download World App from your App Store to your mobile device. It has been intentionally designed to be simple for everyone to use. So as you can see here, when you verify, you need to download the app. Then you can exchange a few different types of assets like Worldcoin tokens. You can also do Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I really like. And you can also do you can also have a vault where you can earn interest essentially, which is very cool, and I love that. You can also claim, so this is incredible, that they essentially give you free money in the most literal sense that has ever existed in the history of humanity. You can now actually get free money. And the idea here is to provide a form of universal basic income to all human beings, regardless of your background or the country that you're in. You're able to actually receive a monthly grant. It's not going to be enough to, for you to buy a car or anything, but it's just the beginning of something that we're going to require as, AI becomes, much more powerful, and it's able to do a lot more work that many people depend on. We're going to need a way to distribute funds to people, or wealth to people. So that being said, let's check out the super app. So one of the huge announcements they made is that now within the World App, as a developer, and this is also the cool thing, that it's not just it's not just for people to get scanned and then the World ID thing. If you're also a developer, someone who likes tinkering, someone who likes building things, you can also build on top of this network. And they provide a way for us to provide super apps. So sorry, mini apps. So introducing the World App 3.0, the super app for humans. So you're able to actually develop apps. So introducing mini apps, a platform that enables third-party apps to run right inside World App and deeply integrate anonymously with the World ID. So if you're building an application and for some reason it needs you to know that this is a unique human being, and I'm sure there's many use cases people can figure out for that. Imagine elections essentially being run on something like World. I think that would be awesome. So yeah, so you, as a developer, you can build mini apps, and also as a user, you can now access these mini apps and essentially use them for such a thing. So let me a more useful and performant wallet, and then new credentials protection. So they also provide now more credentials. You can put in passports, you can put in driver's licenses into your thing, and they'll all be attached to your World ID. So I'm gonna open the app right now so that you can see for yourself. Yeah, so here we are. This is how the new app looks like. So this is how it looks like when you get verified. You're able to add some of your information here, and this is how it looks like when you visit the app. When you visit the App Store. So I've downloaded a few apps myself, and we're going to play around with some of them just to see what is up. So let's start by opening the App Store. So you can swipe here on top, which is very interesting. And then let's open the App Store so you can see how that looks. So this kind of model pops up, and then you can see the app. So it's a bit similar to the App Store as well. As you can see, they have different apps available. They have social apps. They have gaming apps. You can actually play games within the World App now, which is very interesting. We'll play some. And then they have business apps. So things like eSIM, World Pay Terminal. You can also apply to become a World operator within the app, which I think is going to be one of the ways. It's going to be a source of income for people because they're going to be paid in world tokens. So let's just start with the basic one. So the top apps, number one, the network. This just allows you to see information about how many people are on World. How many people are verified, how many people are being verified. You can see some of the analytics, and it's very cool that they give you all this data. Before it was a bit minimal, but now it's like they're giving you tons and tons of information essentially about the different orbs. Right now, as you can see, they have 3823 orbs, and they're in plus 160 countries. Very interesting. Then they have 36 apps which are available. We're going to check out some of them, and as you can see, in many countries, and you can swipe on this. Globe here. So let's go back. So let's go back to the App Store. They also have a Worldcoin airdrop. So every month or so, you're going to get a bit more Worldcoin. So let me open this so you can see how that looks. So as you can see, in 8 days, I'm going to be able to claim some of my Worldcoin. And I've been claiming for quite some time now. So we'll just see how that goes. And every month, I just get some more, and then I claim, and then I continue with my life. So another app that we can check out is, okay, they have phone top-ups, which is very interesting. So now using your Worldcoin, you can now start topping up your phone. It connects to actually my local networks here in Kenya, and I'm able to buy credit and things like that, which is incredible. They have interesting, I'm sure you're very interested in the gaming. As you can see here, they have a Flappy Orb, they have a Tetris game. Let me show you how it looks like when you download an app. When you click Get, it's very simple, just like that. So it happens much faster than it would if this was on the App Store. So I guess we're just going to start by playing Flappy Orb. Personally, I've tried this Flappy Orb application. I think it's very basic, and it's not a very good app. It's not something I really enjoy. It's not very good, basically. At least compared to the normal Flappy Bird. As you can see, at least from my perspective right now, you can't even see the bird. It's just a gray blob, which is not very. Even the background, like the quality of the assets, it just feels like a cheap, very cheap game, in my opinion. So, but it's Flappy Bird. So yeah, whatever. That's one game. Another game you can try is City Dunk. This one is at least a bit better. I prefer the art style is a bit more high quality, things like that. Like this, as you can see. So, and also we'll get into developing these mini apps just now. I'll show you how to build your own mini app and how that process works. As you can see, you can play a game inside the Wild app. So they're building their own mini app there. So let me go back. Then you die. They also have other things like they have polls, which is very interesting. So if you wanted to run a poll and you wanted to be sure that this is just a human being, you essentially can create a poll. So let me start here. And the question: I am a human. Done. Continue. Yes. C. Because the funny thing here is only humans. You see everyone, then verified humans. You can decide whether you want to set up a poll. So there, I've set up, I've confirmed, and my poll has been created successfully, and I can share this poll online to other people, which is very cool. So that is probably the beginning of the revolution that's going to happen in elections, depending on whether governments eventually pick this shit up. But we'll see how that's going to work. They have other things. Let's check out the shop, the Wild shop, and see. So this is how you verify. So when you join a new application, it tries to verify you anonymously. And as you can see, limited edition drop. Orb is yours. So let me claim. Limited claim with Wild ID. Diamond Orb, free. I don't know what this is, to be honest. Okay, you need a specific code in order to be able to claim. Let's go back to the shop. This is very interesting. I actually haven't opened this shop before. So as you can see, you can buy, you can buy stuff like you can buy stuff with your World ID. They have hats. They have some merch you can buy, which is very interesting. So within the app itself, you can do shopping, which is quite interesting. They also have services. Let's see what this is about. It's going to require my World ID signed in. Let's see what services they provide. So they have other games. I think these are like Minecraft mine coins. You can buy mine coins, I guess. Things to do with video games. So Diablo. Wow, interesting. So you can actually buy things within the app itself. You can actually start providing doing commerce. I'm sure you can start to see where this thing is going. You can do shopping inside, you can play games inside, you can do top ups, you can do polls. There's a network, there's drops. Like it's actually expanding into something very, very interesting. And I'm very excited to see where it's going to go in the future. But at least now you have an idea of how the app looks like for you to be able to check it out for yourself. Okay. So okay, so now that you've seen how the Wild app works, let's talk a bit about the Wild chain. So Wild chain is a blockchain designed for real humans, allows developers to reach millions of real users with apps for everyday life. The issue here is that with most other blockchains, you can't tell whether it's a bot using it or whether it's a human. So this is a very unique type of a chain. And WildChain is permissionless, open source, and designed for community governance. So it's possible for anyone to, it's secured by Ethereum as an L2 and engineered for scalability with the superchain ecosystem. So you can actually build on top of it if you wanted as a developer, and we'll actually get into that a bit. Now let's talk about Worldcoin. Worldcoin is a token that distributes ownership to every human. As you saw, it's possible for you to get Worldcoin every month as a drop, which is very exciting because you just essentially get free money. And as the price of World is going to increase in the future, I am very bullish on it. You are going to essentially be creating wealth for yourself pretty much. Designed for use as the operative cryptocurrency and governance mechanism of World Network. So as you can see, that's someone there verifying themselves. Where laws allow, WildCoin may be claimed for free by verified individuals just for being human and participating in Wild Network. And this is the cool part where you just claim Wild for free. Everyone in the network just gets, you get distributed just because you're participating in the network. So it functions according to rules created by the community of Wild Network, enabling its functionality to differ based on the persons and organizations that used it. It can be used for paying gas fees, as an in-game virtual currency, or even as a mechanism that enables more equitable voting systems. So verify now to receive the maximum amount of WorldCoin. The amount decreases while you wait. Yeah, this is the interesting part, and this is why I try to share WorldCoin with so many people, because the longer you wait, the more you're losing. So everyone who doesn't believe in WorldCoin, everyone who is sitting on the sidelines being skeptical, they're essentially just losing wealth as time goes on, which is very sad. If people are skeptical and they don't want to learn about how this new technology works, their wealth is slowly being eroded because the earlier you sign up, the earlier you start receiving the WorldCoin. The more essentially money you're going to make. It's like getting Bitcoin when it was much cheaper when it started versus getting it now. You're essentially losing out on a lot of wealth. So it's better that if you're interested, you get verified and you start receiving your WorldCoin as soon as possible so that you can start making a bunch of money. And this is kind of the price. It's gone up and down. It fluctuates. Sometimes it's gone really high. Sometimes it's gone really low, depending on how the market feels. But I'm bullish that I think in the future, this is going to look like nothing compared to the price that Worldcoin is going to eventually reach. So yeah, we talked about the new credentials and the new World ID. So they are providing essentially ways for you to add your driver's license, national ID, and your passport inside the World app. Because right now you need to visit a physical location. So they're making it easy for you to do it by yourself with using the credentials you already have. It's just that those credentials still don't prove that you're a human. You're still eventually going to need to get verified as an orb. This actually allows you to kind of get there partway there. They also solved the idea of deepfakes. So it combines the orb imaging, personal data custody, and face auth to enable people to verify that they're communicating with real humans and combat the rising threat of deepfakes, which I think is awesome. So they have this thing called ID deepfakes solved. And yeah, so that's one. Now this section is for developers. So if you're a developer and you're interested in in developing for Worldcoin, you're interested, you're like, how do I get into it? How can I integrate Worldcoin into my apps? How can I build a mini app? How can I use the Worldcoin chain? Sorry, the World chain. Yeah, they have documentation here, which I'm going to just go through in general, so that I can show you what's possible. So if you click here on World ID, you're going to be able to see, the world's largest identity and financial network as a public utility, giving ownership to everyone. So they have things for you here for you to try out. You can test some few things, but they have essentially templates. So if you're looking for the fastest way to build an app, we have multiple template repositories. So you can use templates. As you can see here, they provide ways for you to use it. Installation on npm, cloud verification. They have ID kit for you to try out in your own applications. As you can see, ways for you to sign in with World ID. It's strongly recommended that mobile apps use incognito actions instead. Mobile sign-in currently behaves poorly. As you can see, they have different documentation for you to do it. ID kit references. They have even a REST API for you to be able to access, so you can verify proof for a cloud action. This is how that request can look like. Request body, they provide all the docs here. Sign-in reference, you can use that. So as you can see, essentially they provide everything that you would need here to work with World ID inside your applications. It's very easy to integrate. Now you saw the mini apps, and you're probably asking yourself, how do I install mini apps? So how does it work? Mini apps work by sending commands via the MiniKit SDK to World App and listening for responses passed back. The mini apps enable third-party developers to create native-like applications within World App. We currently support World ID payments and signing with Ethereum. Building a mini app will provide access to our rapidly growing user network and monetization opportunities via World and USDC. So if you wanted your user to pay you in World, like you're like, okay, fine, I'm building an app or I'm building a service and I want this user to pay World coin tokens to me, you can actually build a mini app for that. So here's how you can install the mini kit. So they have React templates, they have vanilla JSON, JavaScript templates, Next.js. I wish they provided things like Flutter libraries and because I love Flutter, so I wish they had that. But you can still do a lot with this, I guess, with React. What else? They have commands, so you can verify, you can pay, you can authenticate, sign in, you can send transactions, you can send in messages. As you can see here, crafting the payload. This is how it looks like. You can verify. This is how it looks like. Verifying a user. You can sign in. Although here it's going to work natively inside, so you don't need to do much. This sign in with World ID is if you have a website, an external website, but if you want to sign in with a World ID inside the application itself, you can just use it will be natively supported. As you can see here, they also have API references that allows you to see all the code that you need. You can work with payment, transaction, things like that. Look at the startup, you can get prices of the Worldcoin token, things like this. And then finally, when it comes to WorldChain, how would you want, if you want to build on top of WorldChain itself, it's possible for you to do this. WorldChain is a blockchain for humans. So unlike all the other blockchains, this one is specifically like you can be sure that the people who are there are human beings and not bots. So free gas fees for all verified human beings, meaning that you're not going to have to pay high transaction fees in order to be able to send money back and forth for real humans. They have a native mobile distribution through mini apps. They simplify crypto transactions. They have World ID. They have airdrop of tokens. So it's very, very valuable. Why WorldChain? It has undergone several transitions. The first time was on Hubble, Rollup, then it was Polygon, then this in Open Mainnet, and now WorldChain. There are several motivating factors for all of these changes. And as you can see, they moved. Now they're in WorldChain. So you can deploy in WorldChain. They have all the documentation here. You can download the development tools, create your projects. You can see here they have all the essentially documentation for you. You can create even contracts and deploy them. You can generate wallets. You can fund the wallets, deploy contracts on the chain. So if you're interested as a blockchain developer into developing some of these things, that's possible. They show you all the information about the different nodes and things like that. So yeah, that's as a developer. I just wanted to show you in general that you also have access to the system. So apart from just being a user, if you wanted to develop applications for Worldcoin and World App, it's possible for you to do that. Okay, so that being said, I just wanted to share this information with you guys. Thank you so much for for listening, and I really appreciate. I hope you learned a few things, and I hope you're excited to build on top of Worldcoin. I hope you're excited to verify yourself and start receiving your airdrops of free money, basically free wealth that's going to grow over time. And thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.